Well, it seems for my haters, Christmas came early today. My Yamaha R6 that I love and cherish is now broken. You know, if this was me like a year ago, I probably would have made a video being like, oh my God, I hate this motorcycle. I never want it again. I feel like I've matured a little bit. Now I kind of come at things with more of a better angle. Like, yeah, my Yamaha R6 is broken, but I can fix it. It's actually not that bad. I announced this on my story. I had a lot of people flooding my DMs with requests to buy this motorcycle. I'm sorry, like I've said before, this bike is not for sale. But I would love the opportunity to show you how it's broken.
So here we have the R6 in all of its glory. So quick little recap, this is my 2025 R6 race model that I converted from a track-only bike into a street model. The reason that's important will come up later. So I've had this problem ever since I first bought this bike, and I kind of just attributed it to being like a weird quirk of the R6 because I never owned one in the past. I've ridden one of these bikes in the past before I bought this model, and it had been a couple years before I bought this one. These are kind of rare bikes, they're kind of hard to come by. So I didn't really have any prior experience, but I've been experiencing this little issue ever since I first bought this bike. So let's go ahead and start it. So as you can tell, in idle, this bike is not having any problems. It's fine, revs all right, it's whatever. It's when you put this bike in gear, however, is when it starts to move forward ever so slightly without you doing anything. I'm holding it back a little bit, so it's not doing it that much, but it's really hard to shift out of neutral too. Alright, I hear you ask, why don't you just adjust the clutch out further? Well, I've tried that. It is already adjusted, as you can see, all the way out. So why is this a major problem, and why am I talking about this now? It's because the clutch on my R6 is blown.
So it's kind of weird to have a bike with only 4,000 miles and have the bike go kaput, especially since I talked to a couple different motorcycle mechanics, and their guess was kind of as good as mine, but based off the fact that the clutch is dragging even when it's adjusted properly, that you have to adjust it all the way out or else it'll drag even worse, and the fact that it wore out at only 4,000 miles, the most likely explanation is Yamaha put in a race clutch on these race models. Crazy, right? Not too many people bought these bikes to ride them on the street. As far as I can tell, I'm the only one that like did that and is making content with it, so I had no idea that this was going to happen. And to be honest with you, couldn't have come at a worse time.
So if you're wondering how I rode this bike with a broken clutch to this random location, allow me to educate you what a machine with like a car or a motorcycle with a broken clutch actually does. This is actually my first vehicle that's ever had a clutch go out, because I usually am very nice to my machines. I'm talking no wheelies, no stunting on this bike whatsoever. I treated this bike, I joke with my friends that this thing is my cruiser because I treat it like such a princess. And this bike on top of it is barely cresting 4,000 miles at 39.78. All right, enough waffling. Let me try to demonstrate this for you guys really quick. So a bike with a clutch that's going but not quite gone, you can still ride it like normal. But as you can tell, this bike is the clutch is fully out, it's fully adjusted properly. You pop it in first gear, and yeah, it's dragging a little bit. As you can tell, the bike wants to pull forward, but it's totally fine other than that. And you can still ride it like normal, it's completely fine. You just have a little bit of trouble. See, I can't shift it out of first or second right now. It's being really difficult. Unless I'm dead stopped, now I can shift first or second. It's a little weird like that. Now, I think I've gotten a little bit better over time with dealing with the emotions a little bit. Like I said, if I had filmed this like a year ago, if this would have happened to me like a year ago, I would have been like, I hate this bike, man, I never want to own it again, man, I hate Yamaha, man. Just whine about this bike for 20 minutes, but that's not why I'm making this video. Actually, there's this Reddit post that a kid made a couple of days ago. This kid made this Reddit post, I've got enough experience and want to get a BMW S1000 RR, and he's discussing the differences between the M1000 RR and the S1000 RR. Oh my god, he actually replied. I love your content, by the way, man. I've lost my best friend too. Life feels heavy for me too, but I get what you're saying, you know? Oh, green light. Oh, sorry. Actually, really glad he replied, because it completely changes the angle I was going to take in this video. I doom scroll on Reddit sometimes, it happens, and I just happen to come across that kid talking about wanting an S1000 or an M1000. The kid claims he was 16 years old and also mentioned me as someone he wants to replicate online. But that post kind of sank in my heart a little bit. Here he is, a 16-year-old kid wanting an S1000 or M1000, whatever. Regardless, they're both death machines. They're both insane motorcycles I barely think anyone else should own. This is then during a time where I was about to go look at a R1 and an S1000 RR that same day. I was low-key gearing up to buy a brand new superbike. I had the funds collected. I was like, let's go. I'm gonna go get an R1 or something. It's gonna be great. And that post just stuck with me, man. And I'm starting to get the feeling that I'm low-key influencing people to do the wrong thing. Now, I got the R9 this summer, I got the R6, yeah, I bought the V4 over last winter. I feel like I've been doing pretty good this summer, but that's my legacy, man. As a little YouTuber guy, that's my legacy, is I just get a bunch of kids into superbikes, and I'm left feeling a little defeated, a little depressed, as you will. And so yesterday when I went out on my R6 to go, get some fresh air, I took out the middleweight sport bike, the bike that I could rely on to be reliable and just like easy to ride, because it's a 600 and it's not that fast compared to the other. I mean, it's pretty fast still, but it's not as fast as the other bikes. And then to have it go out on me is, I'm so, everything is pointing to me that I'm doing the wrong thing in life. Between Jigsaw, between Sean, between everything that's happened this year, including now, like just today, just to this day, what are the chances that this R6 comes with a race clutch from the factory, goes out after 4,000 miles, right as I'm like trying to find a 600 to chill on? I love this bike, man. This is the one bike I will never sell if I can hold on to it. But it is coming at the wrong time, and it's just compounding the feelings that we're already starting to build. There it goes. Yeah, really not trying to do that again. So I had some people tell me, oh, the clutch is too tight. But that's what I was trying to describe in the beginning of the video, is when the clutch is like too loose. When it's any looser than where it is right now, the problem then becomes the clutch starts dragging in first gear. I've been describing this in how many videos at this point, where I'm holding the clutch in and it's still pushing the bike forward. It still does it even in this like configuration now. In this setup where the clutch is all the way out, it still drags a little bit. It's just a little bit less noticeable than if it was a little bit more in. There's a couple other theories that these mechanics have of why this issue might be happening, but the most likely culprit is it's just a race clutch. Not that anyone watches to this point in the video, because I already see a million comments that's going to be like, bro, just adjust your clutch right. Just adjust the clutch right. Even though, like, I've ridden this bike for 4,000 miles, bro. I've adjusted the clutch as best as I can. I've taken it to people who know way better than me, and probably way better than 99% of people, and even they can't figure it out. It's most likely just a race clutch, and I have to replace it. I've already ordered the stuff. It's on the way. It was like $200. It's fine. I'm just pissed I can't ride the bike I want to ride.
So I don't want to put too many more miles on the R6 before I get that clutch replaced. I'm really not trying to strand myself out in the middle of nowhere. So after talking about how I don't want to show off 1,000cc bikes, it's a little chilly out, so I thought I'd take the heat warmer. I'm sorry.
A couple days ago, I had a friend ask me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And between everything that's happened, especially I saw Jigsaw 2 days before he finally left for Cleveland. He had some other visitors coming in the day before he left, and he left, as of recording this video, he left today. Jigsaw spent over 1 month in the hospital from a motorcycle accident that was not his fault. And I tried to be there for him as much as I could. I tried sticking around and seeing him, but every single time I saw him, man, it was incredibly difficult. And I gotta be honest, when my friend asked me, he's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I visited the day after I visited Jigsaw with my girlfriend, with Eve, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, that question was ringing in my head like a motherfucker, just going on repeat. Because I'm not gonna lie, with all due respect to Jigsaw, I know he may not agree with me on this, but I do not see myself laying in a hospital bed in 5 years, or at least I hope not. I want to try to do everything I can to try to reduce that risk to end up in that hospital bed, and I think that may involve not doing motorcycle social media, if you catch my drift. How is this related to your R6, Matthew? I don't understand. Well, it was because all of this was ringing through my head after reading that little comment, after reading that post from that 16-year-old, inquiring about what 1,000 insane death machine should he buy. And when the R6 went kaput, and when the R6 is like, it's not like the clutch is clearly going on that bike. It's just, I think I'm done. I think that's my point. I've mentioned on this page many a times that I've been sticking out through school. I plan on finishing school. Currently in my undergrad program, I finished this December. I originally did not have plans on going to graduate school. I did not have plans on immediately getting a job after college. But that's changed. As of today, I have a meeting on Tuesday to talk about furthering my education, and I will no longer be relying on social media and YouTube as my primary thing I'm looking forward to doing in the future. Can I get out here without dying, please, sir? ma'am. Thank you. All right, cool. Now, I mean that, and I also kind of don't. I mean it in the sense that I used to think in my brain that, like, I'd just do social media for forever. I mean it in the sense that, like, I used to just think that I'd make YouTube videos forever. Like, there's no point in ending it, because it's just like, you know, if you have a job, it's like doing YouTube and a job full-time is not hard. I've been doing school full-time with YouTube and TikTok and everything at the same time. I've been doing that stuff for years. Oh, it's pretty over here. I want a photo. Papa wants a photo. But I do mean it in the sense that my brain is switching to now this has an end. It went from I'm just going to do this forever until it inevitably dries up to I'm going to stop this one day. For some people, they're probably going to be they're probably jumping for joy. And I know there's probably going to be some people out there, maybe a select few that are disappointed. And for that, I'm sorry, man. I really didn't even think I was going to make this video. You know, it's like, it's one thing, like the Jixabra thing, it's usually what he says, is that he just wouldn't talk about something like this. It's like, it's downer. It's like, you don't want to talk about the end of something. I can't ignore it, man. It's that kid, man. It's the 16-year-old talking about getting an M1K because he wants to look cool on social media. You know, it's not someone like the Stratton Man or someone I looked up to when I first started making YouTube videos. It's not someone who could just, like, innocently buy a supercar and just ride it and, like, show off that lifestyle and promote that lifestyle to somebody. Meanwhile, with motorcycles, it's like showing off these super bikes and going fast and all this dumb stuff. Not that that was ever really my content, but still, showing off the flashy 1000cc bike, it's still getting someone killed. I'm probably going to get myself killed if I keep riding as much as I do. I love riding, dude, don't get me wrong. But for fuck's sakes, I feel like I need a job to keep me away from it. Maybe you can tell me in the comments, oh, I'm just being soft. Oh, it's just all this crap. They're just being soft, Matthew. You can't handle the bikes. I don't know, man. Tell me why it just seems like you can't tell me that everything that's been happening, everything, it just isn't some force telling me that I'm on the wrong path. That what I'm doing up until this point has been the wrong thing. If I was doing the right thing, I wouldn't feel like crap for a year. I have an interest in medical school, law school, and also pursuing a graduate degree in my current field of study, which is environmental science. So I would go into, like, geology or something that would, like, help me work at like an oil and gas company, for example. It's a pretty profitable field to get into, but it's also not really the best ethical field to get into. And my whole thing is that I'm, like, low-key not satisfied with how I feel like I'm helping the world right now, making content and brain rot for society to consume. So I don't know if going into an oil and gas company would really solve that issue. The issue's never been money. It's just how I make people feel. I'm tired of making people feel like crap because of something I put out into the world, and there's nobody here I know. And Sheets was low-key kind of dead too. Yikes. I just hope you guys all realize this is coming from the guy that didn't download TikTok until like 2021. I was the big off of social media guy. And actually, there was something else that was kind of annoying me that I want to talk about really quick. Yeah, this dude, I replied on my Snapchat story the other day. This dude's like, shut up and post more shirtless pics. Dude, I was disgusted at that. God forbid a dude just try to say something and have his voice be heard, not in some brain rot, shirtless gooner way. The online space has just become so negative these days. Everything I scroll through, I have to physically force myself from scrolling through TikTok these days just because of how rage baited it's become. And you go to comment sections are more brutal than they've ever been before, which is like, okay, that's fine. Like, if you're posting online, you gotta deal with some hate comments, but I'm just talking about like everywhere else on the internet. Like, there's no positivity anymore. And perhaps it's just the stuff I'm being fed and like no one else is dealing with this problem, which is fine, whatever. It just doesn't make me want to see myself pursuing a future in an online space or even continue. Like, I hope in 5 years, bro, I can delete all these apps. I don't want to even see these apps anymore. I was surviving just fine without them, and I could probably go back to surviving without them. I said in a back to school video a while back that I just want to help people. I just want to get to a position in my life where it feels like my voice and my actions, I should say, because those are two separate things. It doesn't matter either or. I want to feel like I'm helping people. And the problem is with social media is it's always felt that there's that disconnect. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter how helpful, if I try to inspire people to pursue education, inspire people to stay fit, exercise, to go to the gym, it doesn't ever feel like enough. And so that's what I mean by, like, I give up. I don't mean that I'm like gonna give up tomorrow or the next day. I still feel like I got a lot to say, but I'm just in my grand scheme of things, you know, in this pivotal point in my life where I kind of have to make a decision if I want to pursue social media for life or if this was just a fun thing I did in my early 20s. I kind of have to make that decision now. And that's just the decision I gotta make. Yeah, if you can't change the world, might as well just put your head in the sand and pretend the rest of it doesn't exist. Like I said, my dudes, I'm probably not gonna go anywhere personally for a little bit, other than just knowing the background. Like I'm pursuing higher education, I think, I never really thought about going straight out of college and getting a job after. I think I'm just going to continue on to higher levels of school while also continuing to post like videos here and there. The quantity may slow down a little bit, and you may notice some changes too come spring. Perhaps, you know, the big bikes might go somewhere at least. But in terms between me and you personally, I'll still be here. Like, I'll still be making videos. Like, there's not going to be any crazy changes right off the bat. It's simply just a change in my mentality and where I feel like I'm heading. And with that, I feel like my ride's pretty much over. Love you guys, and like I said, I'll still be here for the next one. See you in a little bit. Bye-bye.